Hiya VC. Here I am again. I thought I'd record another one of the Love the Artist, Hate the Album videos. Because I found another one. Well, I remembered another one. And this is probably... Is it even worse than Houses of the Holy? Well, probably. Probably is, actually. Now, this is an album by my absolute favourite male artist, male singer, my number one favourite. I've been listening to his records almost as long as I've been listening to as I've been buying records. In fact, I've been listening to his music probably as long as I have been listening to music full stop. Some of my earliest musical memories of this chap. And this album represents the absolute nadir of his recorded output. Yeah, there are albums later that other people might argue were worse. But this is definitely the most disappointing record. Possibly the most disappointing record I've ever heard. And that artist is David Bowie. And that record is this, Tonight, by David Bowie. This came out in 1984. I think it came out in September. Might have got that wrong. Can't remember. But I think I got it at Christmas '84. At that point, I had become a rabid Bowie fan. He was just kind of like the male counterpoint to Kate Bush for me. They are the two artists, full stop, that mean the most to me. I grew up with this man's music. Just means everything to me. And I think my dad had Diamond Dogs on a tape, so I kind of listened to that every now and again. From when I was like really young, we're talking 6 or 7, and it's a really scary album to a 6 or 7-year-old. There's some really freaky stuff on there. And at this point, I definitely heard Heroes. I think I might have had Aladdin Sane at this point. Don't think I had Ziggy then. Definitely didn't have the earlier albums. Definitely heard Changes, Bowie. And that had been on, I got that out of the record library and I had that on just repeat. It was just phenomenal music. Changes Bowie is just an absolutely amazing compilation. I mean, it's ideal to start off with because it's not as like just mind-blowingly huge as some of the other compilations, the 2-disc ones that you get now. So I was well into Bowie. I was reading books about him. He'd just been absolutely massive in '83 with Let's Dance, Modern Love, and China Girl. Loved China Girl. Loved Let's Dance. I also had that album by that point, I think. Absolutely was going. I just wanted to get all of his records and just immerse myself in his world. It was just unbelievable. So, imagine my excitement when I heard there was another new Bowie album coming out. And the signs looked good, to start with. I mean, there was the ridiculous video for Blue Jean, called Jazzing with Blue Jean, where he played some twit who was trying to see his hero, Lord Byron, who was also played by Bowie. But it was a good old song. I enjoyed it. I loved it at the time. And so I eagerly awaited getting hold of this. I was so crazy to get hold of it. And then I did. This is an absolute abortion of a record. It is just absolute mess. For a start, he only wrote 2 tracks on it. Apparently because Bowie found it really difficult to write on tour, which is fair enough. I mean, you know, I can understand that. But he also wanted to satiate the new mainstream fans that he'd garnered with Let's Dance, because he was incredibly popular in 83, 84, especially after the Serious Moonlight tour. So he wanted to keep the coffers flowing. He wanted to keep it going. And I think originally he saw this maybe as some kind of Pin-Ups 2, possibly. Although he didn't even follow that through with this, because he did write 2 songs. The best 2 songs on the album are by him. And then you've got, I don't know, obviously he thought he was doing his old Iggy, where is he? There he is. Iggy a favour, because there's so many Iggy co-writes or previous compositions on this album that I don't know why he just didn't bung him a few £100,000 and have done with it or something, and then wait and record a decent album. But anyway, so the album starts off. So let's show this album. So here we go. So we've got, now from this you'd imagine that the whole album was kind of like some sort of religious thing. It's very kind of stained glass and on the back, very floral, kind of worldy. Bowie looking as alien as ever, looking blue. Some painting on the back. I'm not sure if it's Bowie or not. The lyrics. There we go. I'll keep that out because it's got the credits on there, so I can. I mean, Carlos Alomar plays on it, as he had done on most of his I think all his albums, since Young Americans, I think he was. But whatever he was on, he just, just sometimes words fail me about this album. I mean, to me, this album represents the utter demystification of Bowie. And one of Bowie's greatest things was just a sense of mystery, this aura of mystery. You never knew what he was going to do next. You didn't know what he was thinking. You just always expect the unexpected with him. And this was kind of what you did expect. A lame follow-up to a mega-selling album. Well, maybe that's the mystery about it. It is a lame follow-up to a multi-million selling album. Maybe that's what he's aiming at. So I don't know what else he was. So let's run through the tracks. So you've got, actually the album starts off brilliantly. You've got Loving the Alien, which is a 7-minute song on, I think, what has been referred to as God is an Alien concept. Basically, it's a treatise on religion and misrepresentation of foreign culture. And it's a really, really good song. I mean, the 7 minutes whiz by for me. I could listen to this song. I mean, I put it on tonight, and it seemed to have barely started by the time it finished. Absolutely adore that song. So it's not a total loss. And the video is marvellous as well. If you go on YouTube, watch the video. It's gorgeous. But then it just immediately descends into just forgettable tracks. You've got Don't Look Down, which is a cod reggae. What is it with white rock stars doing really bad reggae? I mean, that's a common thing with Houses of the Holy. Just atrocious. Then you've got an awful cover of God Only Knows. I mean, I was reading some reviews online of this record as I was listening to it, and somebody said that God Only Knows was the sound of watching Elvis on stage in Vegas through a sheet of ice, I think that was a quote. Well, no. It's more like watching a fat Elvis impersonator in Bognor Regis in the rain. It's that bad. And then you've got the track Tonight, which was an Iggy Bowie collaboration. I think released on Lust for Life, I think it was. And that's been skankified as well. And what's even worse is a duet with, that is the duet, isn't it? Yeah, with Tina Turner. What was he thinking? What? So that brings side one to a close, which is atrocious. Right, then you've got Neighbourhood Threat, open side 2. Which is passable. It's another Bowie pop collaboration, again from Lust for Life, I think. Pretty sure it's Lust for Life. And Lust for Life version is great. But why did Bowie think it was a good idea to cover this song? I don't know, it just seems toothless. Then you've got Blue Jean, which is apparently inspired by Eddie Cochran. And yeah, there's some life to it. It's a good old bouncy pop song. Hit the UK top 10. Loved it. So you can imagine my excitement when I was getting this opened and played. You know, Blue Jean was good. Hadn't heard Loving the Alien, so Loving the Alien was the first track. So I was really up for this. Then you've got Tumble and Twirl, which is an absolute mess. It's the verses are all right actually. It's quite funky. There's a lot of slap bass, I think. I think it's slap bass. And they set the tone quite well. There's lots of kind of almost not calypso, kind of flamenco-ish guitar on it. But what it is, and then you get the chorus kicks in, and it is such a jarring difference to the verses. And then they seem to throw a lot of African sounding guitar on it as well. And they seem to throw in sound effects from just about every single culture in the world on the same song. It's like they heard a sound, I know, we'll throw it at that song, see if it sticks. And none of it did. Awful. Then you've got a cover of a Lieber Stoller tune called I Keep Forgetting, which I think I've read was originally done by Chuck Jackson. I don't know, somebody anyway. But it's awful. I mean, the song it's not one of those Lieber Stoller greats. It's not a brilliant song to start with. So why on earth he chose that one, I have no idea. And then you've got the empty vacuousness of Dancing with the Big Boys, which is another co-write with Iggy. So how two of my favourite artists could come up with such a mess of a record is unbelievable. So there we go. My second artist I love, album I hate. David Bowie, Tonight. Well, that's 15 minutes of your time wasted watching this, seeing me moan and whinge about an album. Hopefully my next video, well, I know what my next video is going to be about, and hopefully you'll find it more uplifting and enlightening. I don't know how it will go down. Probably be one big mess, but I've kind of planned it, and I'm going to do it in a minute. So, See you later, VC. Thanks for watching. Oh, and before I go, thanks for all the new subscribers. I'm getting loads of them at the minute. I think I've got at least 20 in the last few weeks. So I hope all of my new subscribers are enjoying the shows. And keep on watching. Love it. Cheers, VC. Bye.